rate of change and slope. There is a formula for you right there that says rate of change is the change in your dependent variable. Remember, that's your y, over the change in your independent variable, which is your x. So it's basically saying, another way that you could write it, have you ever heard of delta? Maybe you've heard it like in a sorority, right? Phi, beta, delta, whatever, you'll see the little triangle. Battleship? I don't know. Anyway, it means change, okay? So it's the change in y over the change in x, okay? Is another way that you could think of it, how it's written. So what we're gonna check on this first one is the rate of change in the distance with respect to time constant, okay? When we ask if it's constant, what we're asking is, does it change by the same amount every time? So what you're checking is the change in your y values, okay? So let's look at our y values right now. If I'm gonna go from here to here, or from here to here, or from here to here, your calculator is gonna come in really handy with these because you're gonna wanna just subtract. So go 520 minus 260, and you get, we had to add 260 to get from 260 to 520, okay? Then you go 780 minus 520, okay? So we're just subtracting the one before it to see how much we actually added to the number. When you subtract those, 780 minus 520, you get 260, okay? Then this one, you would do 1,040 minus 780. So we're just checking what is the difference. What's the change between these two? When you subtract that, you get 260. Okay? Now look at your times. From here to here, and here to here, and here to here, what did we change by each time? 1. Plus 1, plus 1, plus 1. Okay, that means if we're talking about the change in y divided by the change in x, it would be 260 over 1. Okay, look at the second set of numbers. The change in y over the change in x, also 260 over 1. Look at the third set of numbers. Change in y, 260 over the change in x, 1. Are all three of those the same number? Yes. Yes. So when they say, is the rate of change constant? If they're all three the same number, then we would say, yes, it's the same rate of change. Okay, so we're just comparing how much did the y change by over how much did the x change by. Okay? Questions on that?
Oh, I have a random question.
Huh.
When we put happy birthday on the board, did you like it?
Oh, he did. He especially liked, I don't know whose it was. Someone wrote it like right here with the little dots on it.
Olivia.
That was me.
He was like, Mom, that one's so cool.
Oh.
So he really liked that one. All right, but he really did like them all. He was glowing when he walked in. Okay, if you were to graph this setup, it would make a straight line. Do you remember what we call that? We say, yes, we say it is linear. Okay, because it makes a straight line, it is linear. And when a graph is linear, the rate of change is constant. Okay, it means you are going up and over, up and over, up and over by the same amount, or down and over, down and over, down and over by the same amount every time. Okay? Okay, so rate of change, another word that you can use for rate of change, and what we will use most of the time is actually this word, slope. Have you guys worked with slope? Okay, probably a little bit here and there. Slope, the way I want you to think about slope, anyone know? 2 words, they both start with R. Rise over run, okay? I want you to think about slope as the rise over the run, okay? Rise going this way, run is always gonna go to the right. So a rise can go up or down, but you always wanna run forward. We don't wanna run backwards. You fall when you run backwards, okay? So up and down, but the run will always go to the right, So your slope is always found by using 2 points on a graph. So let's say I use these 2 points. If we're doing rise over run, you always start at the point farthest left. Okay, so you're going to choose 2 points that fall on the graph. Your starting point is the one that's farthest to the left. Think about how you read, right? If you're going to read something, you go left to right. That's where we want to start. Start on the left, work your way to the right. Okay, so if I'm going to use these 2 purple points. Right, but in America, it's always left to right. So we're just going to go with the American rule for.
No, but like some people do it like that, but
Some people write right to left.
right to left, yeah.
I know, like Chinese, they write in a different.
Like,
Yeah, but they go vertical. Is it vertical, or do they go right to left?
it's vertical, man. Because
Vertical?
Like, it looks like a line.
Yeah. But just follow the English rule is what we're saying, okay? So we're gonna start at the point on the left. That would be this point here, okay? If I start there and want to do rise over run, I need to go up and down first. Hold on. Of the farthest of the points you're using. You're gonna pick 2 points on a graph. Start at the one that's farthest left. So I picked these 2 points. This one is to the left of this one, right? Okay, so if I'm starting here, you're gonna go a rise of 2 and a run 1, 2, 3 of 3. So if I go up 2 units and over 3 units, my slope is 2 over 3. Okay? So I'm going to show you with these next 2 examples. We're going to say find the slope of each line. Now, the nice thing is they gave you your 2 points. They gave you this point and this point. Which one do you start at? Do you start at negative 2, 1 or 2, 3?
3.
The negative,
3.
oh, I said negative 2. Negative 3, 1. We're going to start here, okay, the one that's further left. So from that point, you're going to rise or fall? Do you go up or down? We're going to go up, okay? So 1, 2, that's a positive 2. And then you're going to run. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? If it's rise over run, what is your slope? 2 over 5. Rise over run. Okay?
We did this in middle school.
Good. That should make it hopefully very familiar. Okay, so now you have 2 points here. Which point do I start at? The top one, the higher one, right? Because we want to start further left, and that one is further left. So now think, if I'm going to start here, do I need to go up or down to get to my other one? Down. If we go down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that is negative. Okay, down 5 is a negative 5. And then you will always go to the right, 1, 2, which is a positive 2. So your slope here is negative 5 over 2. Okay? Know what that means about these 2 lines? They're perpendicular. I didn't even do that on purpose. Yeah.
So I accidentally went like this.
You did the run first. You need to do the up and down first. The up and down goes on top. The left to right goes on bottom. Okay? Okay. So with this, sorry for the big gap, that's just the second page. There is a formula for slope. And I told you at the beginning, rate of change was the change in your y over the change in your x, right? That's what this is saying. Change meaning subtract, okay? So y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So they're going to say, what's the slope of the line that goes through these 2 points? Here's what I highly, highly recommend you do. Label each point as x's and y's. So we're going to call the first one x1, y1, okay? And our second one, we're going to call x2, y2. Now, here's the beautiful thing about this. It doesn't matter which ones are your 1s and which ones are your 2s. I could call this x1, y1, and then this would be x2, y2, but I cannot put a 1 and a 2 together, okay? So we're just gonna do it the way I initially wrote it. We're gonna take that information and we're gonna plug it into that formula. So if it's y2 minus y1, what's y2 right now?
3. -2.
Y2, negative 2 minus y1, what's y1? 0. You still with me on this? Yeah? Okay, then we go x2 minus x1. What's your x2 value? 3. Minus your x1 value, and here's where you need to be a little bit careful. We're subtracting, but we're subtracting a negative. So 3 minus a negative 1. When we simplify that, what's negative 2 minus 0? Negative 2. What's 3 minus a negative 1?
-2. No, 2. 2. -2.
What's minus a negative?
4.
Plus a positive, right? So it would be 4. So 3 plus 1 is 4. Now, here's another tricky spot. We're not done. Why do you think we're not done right now? You have to simplify. So if we divide by -2 or by 2 on both, we would get a -1/2 for our slope. So what is the slope of the line? It's a -1/2. Okay? You try this one. I'm not going to write it out for you. I'll put the formula here if you're looking up at mine. Y2 minus Y1 over X2 minus X1. But try that. See what you get. Did you get an answer? What'd you get, Izzy?
I'm going to simplify it. Well, you can't simplify anymore because it's a...
Well, what'd you get?
Prime. -4 over -7.
Okay. Anybody else get an answer? 4 over 7? 4 over 7? -4 over -7. Okay, so let's work it out. I'm going to call this one x1, y1, and this x2, y2. Okay, so we're going to go y2 minus y1, so -3 minus 1, over x2 minus x1, so -3 minus 4. Okay, -3 minus 1 is -4. -3 minus 4 is -7. Now, you guys are right. It is -4 over -7, but what's a negative divided by a negative?
Positive.
A positive. So you actually want to write this as 4/7. Okay, if you have a negative over a negative, get rid of those negatives. Okay? Okay, any questions on how you find slope? Okay. What? He's taking the test. All right, horizontal and vertical lines. So this first one that we're going to do is horizontal. Okay, here's what I want you to see with a horizontal line. Let's say you have this line. Okay, that's a horizontal line. If you can't remember horizontal and vertical, think if I look out, do you know what the horizon is? Yeah. If you look out on the horizon, that's this way, right? Horizon. I look out on the horizon. Thank you, sir. So if I want to find the slope of this line, pick any 2 points. You can always find slope just picking 2 points on the graph. So let's say I pick this point. That would be the point 0, 3. And then let's pick this one, 3, 3. Okay. If we do that, if I call this my x1, y1, and this my x2, y2, then I can plug that into slope formula right now and say y2 minus y1, so 3 minus 3, over x2 minus x1, which is 3. Oh yeah, sorry. 3 minus 0. When you simplify that, what do you get?
You get 0 over 0.
You get 0 over 3. What is 0 divided by 3?
0.
It's 0. Okay. So if we find that it's 0, okay? That is the slope of the line. Here's the beauty. A horizontal line, and I tried to show you how I remember this. I put a 0 in there. Horizontal, 0, is always 0. The slope of every single horizontal line is 0. So you don't need to do the slope formula. You can just see that's a horizontal line. I know the slope is 0, okay? For a vertical line, it's different. Okay, a vertical line, let's say we go right here. If I pick 2 points here, so like the point 2, 0 and the point 2, 2, let's say. Okay, when I plug that into slope formula, it's going to be 2 minus 0, y2 minus y1, over 2 minus 2, x2 minus x1. Okay, notice what happens here. We get 2 divided by 0. What's 2 divided by 0? Plug it into your calculator. 2 divided by 0.
It can be error. Oh my God,
It's
that's
going to be
syntax
error.
Oh my God,
Syntax
I'm
error.
sorry.
Because the slope of a vertical line is undefined. Okay?
Okay, you know what?
So keep in mind, when you have a vertical line, you're not going to be able to plug it into your calculator. It will always be undefined. You just write undefined, okay? Slope of a vertical line is always undefined. I'm going to just show you a little, maybe some of you know this already. Have you ever heard oi vux?
What?
Sounds bad. No? I did not cuss, no. Oi vux. It's a way to remember horizontal and vertical. Horizontal lines have a 0 slope and it's y equals some number. Vertical lines have an undefined slope and they are x equals some number for the equation of the line. So you're welcome to use this. We're not really using the y and the x part of it. But if you want to use that to help you remember horizontal is 0 and vertical is undefined, you can. Okay, last thing. I just want you to acknowledge some slopes. Let's say I give you a line that looks like this. Do you think that's a positive, negative, 0, or undefined?
Undefined. No.
Positive. If it is on its way up,
My bad.
it's a positive slope. Okay? What is this going to be then? That's going to be a negative slope. If it's on its way down, it's a negative slope. Okay? What is it going to be if the line is horizontal? 0 slope. And what's it going to be if it's vertical? Undefined slope. Okay, any questions on that?